Hey guys, Billy Jenkins here with Silver Creek Doodles. In this video, we're going to talk about my baby boy, Dave. We bred him with one of our females and we're going to have some David puppies. Cross our fingers. She's not confirmed pregnant yet, but everything went perfectly. So let's go ahead and show a little preview and I'll get back on here to kind of explain the progesterone and kind of how this all happened. Alright, so I am so excited, and I think that's my saying that you guys probably hear me say all the time, and when I video I'm like, why do I keep saying that? I'm so excited. So I am very excited. I'm very happy that we got to use Dave with one of our girls before she is retired. So long story short, when Poppy came into heat, I was thinking, oh my goodness, you know, she had her last litter with Kevin. It would be really nice to produce a litter of all non-shedding doodles without testing or waiting to see what the coat is like, and then to also have more on the smaller side. But then looking at Dave and seeing that I do have people that are looking for puppies like him or looking for his type and even his hair type. You know, yes, he does mildly shed and his puppies will have a chance of having hair like him, but it's a low chance. We still should get a lot of non-shedding puppies, but we should know if there's gonna be puppies that has his type of coat, which I personally love. You know, you're not gonna have hair all over you. If you do brush him or bathe and blow dry him, you are gonna have hair that way to where you're not gonna have as much if you have the non-shedding. But I shed more than my dogs. So it's kind of just a funny thing that if you want a dog that is less maintenance, it doesn't have a really full, thick head of hair in their body and stuff, that is a good option to go for. I'm gonna keep looking down here because Dave's laying down in one of the crates down here. Whatever room I'm in, he's laying down somewhere watching me. Anyways, let's get started with this video. So Poppy, right now she's probably 37 pounds. She should be about 34. She is a chunk right now, and I'm okay with that because I don't mind when my girls get a little bit thicker before being bred, because they do go through a week or two where they don't want to eat, and then just, you know, they got to feed the babies and stuff. So it is kind of nice if they are a little bit on the chunkier side, because then once they have the babies, they're not so skinny, and then they're able to fuel off of not only their self, but everything once they're feeding babies. So she is, we're gonna say 35 pounds is her estimated size. And then we have Dave that's 29 to 30. Now he is on the thinner side. We like our dogs on the thinner side. We don't really like them to be thick and chunky. We like them to look athletic. But I will have to say that with both of these dogs, we are probably gonna have puppies more on the larger mini to small medium size. Now when I say that, it's borderline medium, to where this litter is probably gonna be like 33 to 38, 33 to 40 pounds full grown. Of course, I don't want to underestimate puppies. We've had puppies from 2 small dogs before be the combined weight of both, and we kind of knew because puppies were big. But you know, there's always times that those genetics from parents or grandparents or great-grandparents can kind of combine together and get in there. And I've got my little notebook here just for the dates because I can't really remember off the top of my head. But we had Poppy, she came into heat. She actually come and started boarding with us because her family was going out of town. So it actually worked out perfect because we've got the testing and the breeding in while they were gone, and then when they came back, they picked her up and she was done. So we started testing on May 26th, and she was an 8.34. So that definitely means that it's been about a week or so getting up in there. That's the numbers that we like to get our first testing with to make sure that we know that we haven't missed any days. You know, there are chances that females can kind of start bleeding lightly and we miss those few days. So that's good to know. And then 2 days later, we tested on the 28th and she was a 12.74. So those numbers mean that she should be ovulating. So we still have to test in a day or two to make sure that her numbers keep rising. So we did go ahead and start breeding Dave and Poppy. They both were here. Of course, Poppy is wonderful. She has turned into a great adult dog. Bred 4 days in a row, but then we tested again on May 30th, and she was a 15.81. So I would have liked it to have been higher in the teens or more in the 20s to have tested 2 days later. But you know what? She was still rising. We went ahead and we got 4 breedings in. We got an AI, and then we got a natural, and then an AI, and then a natural. So that was pretty good. I was pretty happy for Dave because he normally doesn't get to breed with many girls. So I was very happy for him. So, you know, we are very excited. Of course, I always say that. But we are going to say that her due date is 9 weeks from the 28th. And we did breed 1 day before that, but it doesn't matter when you start breeding. It matters once they ovulate or once ovulation starts. That's when the 9 weeks start from. So I am very excited about Dave and Poppy. And I'm going to end this video with some videos of them. You know, like I said, we did 2 AIs and 2 naturals. I'm going to show just little clips of that, nothing too extensive. And then we'll be back in probably like 3 or 4 weeks to do an ultrasound with her because that has been about a week ago or week and a half. So let's go ahead and cross our fingers that we're going to have some Dave babies on the ground. We do have, I think, 1 or 2 people that are interested in that litter. My website is always up to date if you want to take a peek at that. But these puppies will be more on like the 33 to 40 pound range, more of that larger mini to small medium. But as you can see with Dave and Poppy, they are some good sized dogs. I'm very, now I say good size, I don't mean big, I just mean they're good. Like with Dave and Poppy, both are, you know, they're on your lap, they're very cuddly and, you know, different stuff like that. They're not a true big size medium dog, so I don't think that they're gonna produce that. And most of the parents in their generations, like their parents and grandparents and great grandparents, are kind of on the smaller side. They're around that 30 to like 33, you know, to 28, kind of in that range of more of the mini size instead of the medium. I just never want to underestimate what size they're gonna be. Anyways, thank you guys so much for watching. If you are not subscribed yet, don't forget to hit that subscribe link. Give us a thumbs up and leave a comment down below. Like I always say, it helps us grow our channel. But again, thank you guys so much for watching, and we'll see you next time. Bye. What do you think, Dave? You go see?